Hello and welcome, Gemini. This is Michael with your reading for June 2022. We are going to be using astrology and tarot to figure out what kind of month you have ahead of you. I already have all of your cards on the table here, and I have all of my links in the description box down below for the astrology blog, as well as for personal readings and Reiki sessions. You can also support this channel on Patreon, where you can find further in-depth astrology notes for each of the zodiac signs, as well as live streams. So if any of that sounds interesting to you and you feel so called, definitely check it out. I am really curious what we have for you this month, Gemini. As I was connecting with your energy, I had this sense of liquid fire, like all around my body. And I know I have heard, anyways, people describe this sensation as Kundalini. So there could be something with Kundalini energy. For those of you who aren't familiar with this, it's basically this dormant energy or life force that is in your root chakra, and it can be activated through things like specific type of yoga or just having a spiritual awakening of some kind. And we've absolutely had a lot happening for you on the spiritual plane, looking at the astrology. The first card I actually do have is the High Priestess in reverse, which is kind of interesting to me given the energy and the sense that I had for you. Now, the High Priestess in reverse tells me there could be secrets, there could be things that aren't obvious or things that haven't been revealed. You may be a little disconnected from your intuition, or maybe your intuition has been off. This does make sense for me for May, which is kind of where we pulled this card. We were asking about the past. And with this sort of card, or with this energy, the thing that I think of is Mercury being retrograde in Taurus. And Mercury is your ruling planet, as you may know. And Taurus is your 12th house, the house of your subconscious, spirituality, your dream world. And with Mercury representing the mind and communication and ideas, it's very possible that during this Mercury retrograde, your intuition may have been off. Something may have been askew. And I'm not feeling like you were disconnected from your intuition. It doesn't even necessarily feel like you didn't know. It's almost like your intuition was telling you one thing, but it actually turned out being something else, which is kind of interesting. And maybe there was something that you were supposed to learn from a situation, and that is why your intuition was giving you misinformation. I feel like, too, for some reason, this was helping you stand up for your happiness, or fight for your happiness. And that's a very strange kind of message. I kind of want to clarify these, actually. Why do we have the High Priestess with the 9 of Cups and the 7 of Wands? High Priestess in reverse. What's going on here? Wow. Okay. Yeah. 7 of Cups. Again, something was not what it seemed to be. And there's actually a lot happening this year where you're actually fairly intuitive in 2022. So it's interesting that it seems like in May, something screwed you up. Something kind of crossed your wires, or something was very misleading. And I actually do remember last month there was a lot about spirituality and clairvoyance, and it felt like you were receiving a lot of downloads. And so I wonder, too, maybe you misinterpreted what your intuition was trying to tell you. Maybe you were receiving information, maybe you were tapping into something, but you made it mean something that it didn't actually mean. And with the 7 of Cups, there may have been a lot going on in your subconscious, and there were a lot of options that were being presented to you, and it was hard to necessarily discern things. It was being more in a receptive state, being more in a kind of just an open state mentally or psychically or spiritually. And with the 9 of Cups and 7 of Wands, this is showing up as what you've kind of gained and what you've been learning about, sort of your advice things you can reliably count on. I feel like it's important for you to stand up for your own happiness, especially this month. We are still in your season, so happy birthday, by the way, for those of you who had a birthday this month. But it feels like you need to take a stand for your happiness. Tell me more about the Nine of Cups and the Seven of Wands. Eight of Swords, feeling stuck. If you're feeling stuck, it's really important that you do the things that you want to do, and maybe it feels like you can't prioritize those things because people would attack you or wouldn't understand you. Don't try and make other people happy. That's what I'm getting with these cards. You have to prioritize your own happiness. And this is actually very interesting too. The energy I have that's very central for you this month is actually the Lovers. And the funny thing is, when I was reading these cards or looking over these cards before I turned the camera on, I was kind of thinking for a while, I don't actually think this Lovers is about another person. And then I remembered that the Lovers card is the Gemini card. And I don't know why it took me so long to remember that. I think I kind of forgot I was reading for you, honestly. And I feel like with the Lovers, this is very much about coming back into balance with yourself. And coming back in with these polarities, like bringing these polarities in balance. And I mean, most people talk about polarities as being masculine and feminine, but that's just one way that we categorize polarity. It feels like there is something that's coming into alignment, and I'm looking at this flaming bush or this flaming tree, and I'm thinking of that kind of liquid fire energy again. It feels like energetically something is just shifting. You're transmuting something. You might actually be doing energy work on yourself. And you might be healing the way that you show up in relationships. And I will say, with Mercury now direct on June 3rd, it is going direct in Taurus. It enters your sign again on the 13th. It's almost like the first couple of weeks you are integrating. You are coming into union with these sort of spiritual concepts. And maybe part of this intuitive block, it kind of comes from you not having all of the message, you not having all of the energy, you not receiving everything. You may have a lot of clarity over the next couple of weeks here, at least the first couple of weeks in June. This could be a relationship for some of you. There could be something with a new relationship, especially with the full moon in Sagittarius at the middle of this month, around the 14th. Sagittarius is the sign that rules over your relationships, that rules over partnerships. But I don't think this is a new person. It feels like for those of you who are having a new relationship this month, or there's a new commitment this month, it feels like it's something that's been building for some time. With that full moon energy, it's the culmination or peak of an energetic cycle, and kind of the completion of a cycle, something new coming after that, or wrapping up a cycle. So if you've been involved with someone for a while, or you've been talking to someone, there may be kind of a deepening of a connection with the Lovers. But to be honest, Gemini, I really do feel like this is you coming into your own energy more. And with the Hanged Man in reverse as a challenge, it still feels like your intuition, you're having a hard time figuring out what's your intuition and what's your imagination. I think that's what this is too. And it may feel like you're at an impasse. I definitely get this feeling of you being stuck in some way or feeling stuck. But you will find flow again with this Page of Cups in the future. And it's kind of interesting with Saturn going retrograde. The day after Mercury goes direct, Saturn is going retrograde on June 4th. There is this lifting of a pressure that's allowing you to focus on something. And for you, this is occurring in the part of your chart or the part of the astrology that pertains to spirituality, higher education, travel. And the way that Mercury going direct and Saturn going retrograde kind of manifests right now, it seems like a lot of people are just at a breaking point. And it's like, I cannot continue doing things the way I've been doing them. Things cannot go on the way they've been going on. Something needs to change. Something must give here. And it feels like there is this prioritizing the bigger picture of your life. That's going to be really, really important. And you may not have all the answers right away, but the Page of Cups in the future, this is about intuition. This is about intuitive messages. It could, again, be something about romance or a romantic offer, but honestly, the energy feels very personal for you. And even with the Lovers, it's a very central energy. This feels like it's about you. This is your reading. We're in your season, Gemini. And maybe some of you have just been ignoring your intuition. Ignoring a spiritual calling. Let's kind of clarify some more of these. Six of Pentacles. Finding a balance with the scales here. Give and take. I think some of you are going to be receiving support of some kind. Or you're going to feel like you need that. And that could have to do with, this is actually reminding me of Pluto in Capricorn in your 8th house. This is going to be forming a, what is it? I want to say it's the trine with Mercury in Taurus on June 10th. And your dreams may be helping you. You may be getting some sort of guidance, especially regarding finances in your life. So pay attention to your dreams, especially around the 10th. And this is actually something that's been developing for the past month now. This is the third and final time that Mercury will be forming a trine with Pluto. And there could actually be money that is given to you or gifted to you. Maybe some birthday money or something like that. You're receiving something. You're being showered in love and potentially showered with money or gifts of some kind. So that's nice. It's almost like you're being handed these things, but you still feel stuck for some reason. You still feel like you can't move forward or progress. Page of Pentacles. Some of you literally could be investing in your education, and maybe that's why things still feel kind of constrained or restricted. And again, this feels like someone just offering you something. There is a gift being given to you. Especially with the Page of Cups here. There is something that is being given to you. And it might completely catch you by surprise. Tell me about this Page of Cups. Temperance. Beautiful. Okay, so Temperance is the Sagittarius card. And we have the full moon in Sagittarius on the 14th, as we just discussed. It feels like there could be something here. Maybe there is something with a relationship. There could be a love offer. Someone could be giving you something. Someone could be connecting with you in some way. It doesn't necessarily have to be romance. There's a lot to, it's funny, I'm actually looking at the astrology notes that I wrote for you, the ones that are on Patreon. I literally wrote for the full moon helps you finish up loose ends to focus on what really matters, because also bring a casual relationship to the next level. So there could be a relationship that's developing into something more. Or you could be meeting someone who is going to develop into something more, and this still might take some time with Temperance. I also feel like there's just a lot of healing here. Two of Swords. Still being indecisive about something. Being at a standstill with something. I kind of feel like for some of you, you're trying too hard to understand something right now. Like you're trying too hard to put a label to something. You're trying too hard to figure something out. And it's actually cutting you off from your intuition. There will be clarity that comes to you this month. And it's going to be helping you figure out and learn things about yourself. And then we do have Venus entering your sign as well. And Venus can bring relationships, it can bring this other energy, but it could also very well be about self-love with Temperance and the Page of Cups. And if there is a relationship that's been holding you back, maybe you are in a relationship and it's been making you feel really bad about yourself and feeling really trapped or defensive, like you need to defend the things that you care about, I feel like you're choosing self-love. That's too many. Let's try again. Actually, interesting. I was just going to ask about the Cancer new moon, and I have the Chariot with the Queen of Cups. Both of these are Cancer cards. And in between them, we do have the Ace of Pentacles, and this is literally the most perfect thing I could get for you, because this new moon is bringing wealth. It's bringing abundance. It's a good time to manifest material things for you. And even sweeter, bottom of the deck, we have the Empress, which is Venus. And Venus is going to be forming a sextile with Jupiter in Aries that day as well. And Venus is in your sign. You're very, very magnetic. You can manifest things. There's a lot of blessings that are coming in. You're being showered with these beautiful things. And just allow it to come in. And I also want to say it doesn't mean that you have to give yourself to someone who gives you something either. You don't have to bargain with someone in that way. You don't have to commit to someone or feel like you have to provide something to them. There's a lot where you're receiving things this month. And we have the Hermit. And this is that light of self-love. And maybe some of you need to take some time away, or just get some distance, or get some perspective or clarity. I always talk about the Hermit with his lantern here, and this lantern being a star. And I always think about how we have all this light pollution in our modern society, in the cities, in the towns in which we live. And we can only connect with this starlight when we get away and go up that mountain like the Hermit and find that inner light, find that guiding light. So I feel like you are going to be getting back in touch with this guiding light. I feel like some of you feel betrayed by your intuition. Or maybe you were watching readers online or something like that happened, and it made you very confused. Or it made you see things that weren't actually there. We do have a Ten of Cups. I feel like there is a journey here that does lead to a loving relationship or leads to a happy outcome here. But that feels further down the road, if I'm being honest. It's like you are healing yourself, you're healing your attachment wounds, you're healing from a relationship, or there is something that is evolving. And time is very fluid, so depending on who you are as you're watching this video, you might be at different points in this journey. It feels like the next relationship that comes to you, it's been a journey, it's been a process, it's been a long thing coming. And it's important to focus on happiness with this card. A lot of people talk about the Ten of Cups being this happily ever after, but to me, it's only a snapshot of what these people have been through. We have the kids, we have the house, we have the spouse, we have the kind of picture perfect life, right? Kind of reminds me of social media, where we only see snapshots. And that's not to say that these beautiful moments don't happen, that we don't feel these moments of connection. But life isn't a Disney movie. There's no happily ever after. And even in this moment, it's all temporary. We have the rainbow. The weather will change. The kids will grow up. Life keeps going. And it's about finding happiness in the process, happiness in the moments, happiness after you've weathered the storm and gone through something. You can really appreciate life and appreciate the beauty that life is offering you. And I really just, again, the word showered, you are being showered with blessings this month. And it's all about you. This is a gift for you, Gemini. And I think a relationship will come in divine timing with the Temperance card and the Page of Cups. And, you know, these two cards are actually showing up as a challenge. But like that Saturn energy that is making some loud notes this month, Saturn isn't trying to take away from us. Saturn isn't telling us we can't have what we want. It's that we have to work towards it. We have to be sure that it's what we want. We have to be ready to receive. And there are many gifts that are coming for you, and you have to be in the right place to receive them. I want to pull one more card for you. What is the last message for Gemini? We have the Queen of Wands. This is a very independent energy. And she represents Aries. And Aries energy is also being very activated this month because we have Mars and Chiron forming a conjunction in the sign of Aries. Mars being the ruling planet of Aries, so it's like extra, extra powerful. And there's a lot about healing self-worth and feeling worthy of love, feeling worthy of blessings. And I think that's kind of what all of these love messages are really coming to. You are worthy of love. And you're really taking that in, or that's what you need to take in. Even if at the bottom of the deck here, we have the Ten of Swords, where there was betrayal. we actually have the Two of Cups underneath that, which is that love, that is that union. And I feel like you're healing something, and maybe there's someone who's helping you heal, or you're just doing the things to heal yourself. And those are all the messages I have for you this month, Gemini. I hope this was helpful. Be sure to hit like and subscribe if it was. All of my links are in the description box down below, and if you'd like to check out these readings for your moon or rising sign, I will have a playlist showing up on the screen shortly, or you can just check my YouTube page. I will see you all in the next video. Take care, Gemini, and have a happy and blessed June.